channel. My name is Yoko Lawing and I am a director of the Multicultural Advocacy at the Esperanza, a non-profit organization in North Platte. This is my channel to talk about very important topics like diversity. So I call my channel and interview series a colorful visionary. So don't forget to subscribe and enjoy the conversation.
All right, I'm Darci Gamerl, and this is David Downing. We're Bel Canto Duo. We've been working together since we met, basically, in 2016. We recently got married.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. And David's a cellist, I'm an oboist and English hornist, and we write collaboratively. So there are a lot of different ways that we explore that, but we have a lot of fun writing new music together, and we love pairing it with film and working with different artists, directors, and producers.
Oh, wow, that's really outstanding. It's very amazing, like where you guys coming from on the background. So when did you guys start playing music?
Well, I grew up in Canada, so I started then when I was a kid, and I just wanted to do something different and unique. And so that's why I started the oboe. I think I like the challenge as well. It's one of the harder instruments to play. So, yeah.
I have to say, oboe, isn't it like a very classic French tool, the instrument?
It is.
I don't know how many people still play oboe. Quite a bit of the folks actually still have quite a bit of a population of a musician to play that instrument.
Yeah, mostly in orchestra, but there's a real element of, I guess the past in it, because you have to make your own reeds by hand, which is an entirely different skill.
Wow.
So you're carving bamboo basically to make your reeds. So yeah.
That is interesting. So you got the music talent and some crafty talents as well.
Yes, I can sharpen my friend's kitchen knives for them.
I love it. So what about for you, David?
So I think when I was young, about to reach my 7th birthday, maybe a month before, I think my parents noticed, they recognized the fact that I had an affinity for music, because I was always listening to music and riding around my bike with a radio playing classical music. So they asked me if I wanted to play an instrument. And so in order to figure out which instrument I wanted to play, they took me to, I think, about 5 different like lessons and master classes. So piano, guitar, viola, violin, I think maybe bass, but it was a long time ago, so I can't really remember 100%. But I was fascinated by the cello because I saw people moving their fingers, and there's no frets or anything, and I think I just, in my mind, my perception was, or I wanted to figure out how they were making sounds. So here we are, 45 years later, and still trying to figure it out. So.
I love that. It's really cool that you guys actually grew up with the music. I mean, I grew up with the music playing classical piano, Suzuki method, trained, but it kept me quite a bit of times to really consuming a lot of times to practice those things and then perfecting at that one point. And so it's really admiring that, you guys has been doing this for professionally for quite a bit of sometimes, I assume.
Yes, and the practice part never ends. You're always improving or trying to improve, as much as you can, and learning,
I love that. And so tell me, so individually, where you guys artistry or vision coming from as an artist? What is your inspiration?
Basically, I have a real passion to like help people, whether it be just kind of creating space for them to process emotions or to make art, just creating connections within the community. That's something that I'm also really passionate about. So I think for us, the pandemic really expedited our duo because we were stuck at home, we weren't working elsewhere. And, so it naturally lent itself to, starting to write for our duo together. And then it's just kind of gone from there. But that's kind of where my inspiration comes in. I just love
that.
people in that way. Yeah.
Thank you.
So, do you mean initial inspiration, like, or inspiration now, or just
Like any musical inspiration that you get, because I'm sure, as long as you guys have played the music, living and breathing in the music, probably your inspiration also has evolved, right?
exactly? So that's why it's such a difficult question. Sometimes people ask, who is your inspiration, or what is your inspiration? And I think it's a cumulative process. Over time, your inspiration changes and evolves, just like you're saying. I think I kind of my inspiration lies a lot with Darci's in helping bring awareness to people and it's such a difficult question. But early on, I was inspired just by music and life itself, and world music in general. I was exposed to a lot of music from the East, India and
Yes.
Pakistan, and when I was young, a developing musician, I would give I went to a music academy in late high school, and I would give all my allowance money to these foreign students. So when they went home to Pakistan or Ghana, I would say, please bring me music
Oh, wow.
and clothes. So I would wear these weird this weird attire in high school, like that I would get from all over. But I would also listen to this amazing music that they would bring back to me, and I think that has really guided my involvement in music. I also grew up. My mother is from Venezuela, so I grew up
Wow.
partly in Venezuela and here, and so that's a kind of long answer to
No, I love it. I love it. So you guys really have a lot of like a cultural flares together, right? Because Darci is from Canada. And you guys are also living in the United States, but then you also, David, has a Venezuelan mom's influence. So it's really interesting to me. I mean, how you guys involved with your music. And then now I also read about you guys also offer to the community healing music. So
yeah.
if you can kind of elaborate that part, like what is the healing music to the community? What the style of healing music are you guys offering?
You can cover
Well,
that.
yeah, during the pandemic, I also did a healing music certification because I wanted to have some knowledge behind it. And one of the things, and I had kind of heard about this a little bit, but just the idea that music, prior to the imaging technology that we have now, it was thought that it only affected certain parts of the brain. Well, the reality is now that they can see literally that it affects every part of the brain. And so the style of music that we incorporate kind of brings about different like rhythmic repetition and things like that, so people can kind of just get in the zone and relax. And it's interesting, we hear a lot of different stories from people in terms of what it brings up for them. So there was an artist that came up to us after one of our recent performances, and he said, I'm a sculptor, I've had this piece that I'm stuck on, I can't finish it. But by listening to your music, I was able to work it out. And it's like, when you're kind of in the shower or something like that, that kind of, where you're in this space where it's like just kind of a relaxed atmosphere where your brain can kind of process things the way that it needs to. So we work with that and actually like changing people's brainwaves, kind of de-stressing and lowering heart rate and that kind of a thing. So we have some singing bowls that we use. We also
I love that.
use repetition and different rhythmic things as well. And that seems to really reach people in a different way.
What is the most popular, or let's just say interesting, like a frequency that you guys play with?
It's not necessarily like one frequency. I do feel like for me, I tend to gravitate more towards the lower
Okay.
spectrum of sounds. And that has to do with just kind of the way that my ears are. I'm really sensitive to sound. And so I think those tend to be more relaxing if they're just a little bit more mellow. And of course, the cello is a mellower voice.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I
yeah.
love that. So you guys still bring over the classical feelings to it, or you guys kind of branch out and then you guys play any type of music with your classical tools?
Yeah, and it's been a challenge, especially as a duo with English horn or oboe and cello, that there's not a lot of music out there that is written for those two. So we've had a couple composers write for us, and then we've also adapted a lot of music to fit. We've arranged pieces to fit our instrumentation, and we're also writing a lot of music also to fit our instrumentation.
I love that. So, I try to kind of, make it too long or anything like that, but I always so curious to know. So, who's your favorite artist that gives you much inspirations or aha moments, one of those like, oh gosh, when I'm really in this funk or something like that, I really wanted to listen to this person. Who is that person for you? Dead or alive?
Actually, my person is probably David's music. I find it like really, he has a really unique voice, and his writing is really interesting because he's a looping artist. He layers a
Yes,
lot of
that's
things.
right.
So it's really interesting for me to listen to, and it always kind of sparks other ideas for me creatively. So that's something that I really enjoy listening to. Of course, I've been influenced by a lot of different artists of all styles of music. I love it all. I mean,
who gave you that spark?
Sparks, yes.
honestly, I mean, I don't know, probably classical music. I mean, my grandpa was a violinist, and he like would send us little tape recordings of like classical
Oh, I
music to
love
listen
that.
to. So I think probably that was the initial spark.
Okay.
But
From your
yeah,
grandpa, which is kind of cool. But do
yeah.
you have any like a master, composer or anybody that you could name that you sort of kind of partial to?
Um, I really like Philip Glass. I mean, his stuff is very minimalistic.
Okay.
But I listen to a lot of different stuff.
And the way Philip Glass writes also, and we kind of write this way, where he was asked, I think, during an interview, what was he
Kind of
asked?
how he taps into the creative.
No, he was asked, how he comes up with his compositions, or how did he become a composer? And his answer was that he was not a composer, that he was a conduit, that he tapped into a river, a stream of consciousness, and he was good at tapping into that, but he really didn't have an answer as to, how he composes. He just said it comes to him, and that's kind of the way, I've always composed as well. So I think.
It's very nice. You guys have a lot of inspiration from everywhere, just like any type of composers out there. But we are very looking forward to having you guys because, our form speaks to so many different people without any explanations. I think Noseplat could grow even more bigger. And then I am really focusing on to bring over the different perspectives because our community is about to go much much bigger because we are bringing in so much different the businesses that bring over more migrations and immigration of the people here. So naturally we are growing the population of the immigrants, and in
That's great.
order to understanding each other, just like the music, I think there is no boundaries to it. The music is for everyone, and then just introducing something so grand like your music, you know, the healing music to classical tunes to even listening to the sound of cello or oboe. I think it is even outstanding experience that, you know, you can bring over the real emotional and working journeys from the people. And that's what I'm really looking forward to it. And so, you know, I don't know, have you guys ever been to North Platte before?
Yeah, I've been through North Platte. I think I've been there a couple times.
Okay.
How far away is it?
It's about 5-6 hours.
Yeah. So it's on the way to Colorado, right? Kind of about halfway.
Yes.
Yeah. I've been there a few times.
My first
That's
roommate
good to know.
in
Yeah.
college was from Stapleton, which is just
What?
so. Yeah, so I actually spent a little time out there with her family on their ranch, the Stickney family. So
Oh, wow, fantastic.
yeah, she's
Yeah, that's great. So as you can see, you know, we are living in a much, much smaller scale compared to Omaha metropolitan area.
Yeah.
And so I think it's going to be fast for so many people to, you know, expose into like a visual arts and a music duo. So what type of message do you guys have for audiences in North Platte when you guys come out to September 28th this year?
I think we're just really excited to be there, to spend time and get to know the community a little bit. We love to meet new people and see new places. There's so much beauty in Nebraska, and getting to see and spend some time out in North Platte. I think really we're just looking forward to being there and sharing our music.
Yeah, and hopefully, you know, everybody will take something from it. And that's the beauty of music too, and festivals, is that you can take politics and everything else and put it aside, and you know, just really concentrate on why everybody's there.
Yeah, connect in that way. Yeah.
I love that how Darcy is just looking at the David with the oh look inspired, you know, like that's love. I just love it. I just love it. So thank you so much, two of you, for taking your times today. We are very looking forward to having you guys, dynamic duo, the Bel Canto Duo, here in the North Platte on the September 28th at the DNN Event Center for the fourth Annual International Bazaar. So please log into a www.hope4np.com, or you can also check into the North Platte Connect website to see what's our schedule is gonna looks like, but you guys can get to see the Bel Canto Duo to performs for the first time in North Platte. So it's gonna be a great time. Thank you guys for you guys to be here and to be a part of this big event this year, and I'm very very looking forward to it. So thank you
We
so
can't
much,
wait.
guys. I really appreciate your times today. All right, thanks.